Market segmentation is the process of dividing your target market into smaller, more defined categories. Actually, it helps you to segment customers and any audiences into groups that share similar characteristics. And I will share some of the characteristics that you'd look at when you're looking at market segmentation. When you think about segmenting a market, you have to look at diversity within the market, the diversity of that market. And I like to look at diversity of a market from a very, very bigger spectrum. One, we look at the values people have. So for instance, if you look at probably the types of customers that are consuming halal services or halal products, what are some of the values that they have? If you're looking at people who are consuming probably specific products, I remember when I lived in the UK also looking at products that were very, very specific to a parent, very, very specific to women and everything. You'll find that you look at the values of that customer. Also, there are certain people, and this is true, regardless of what a product or a service is and its connotations in terms of maybe our values and other elements, the age can actually make somebody have a different attitude. And so that is a specific segment. So even if we are talking about a market, for example, the halal market, within it also there's age demographics. You could break it down into age and say the younger people will consume news in this way or banking in that way. The older people will consume a service in this way or a service in that way. So age really, really matters when we are looking at market segmentation. The third thing is gender. When you're segmenting your market, it is important to look at the different diversities around gender. Now, market segmentation is very important for a small business to understand in order for them to be able to determine their target markets. And these are basically the segments of customers whom they should target in order to receive more sales from. So it's used for effective marketing, and that is why it is so important for us actually to have a bigger understanding of market segmentation. Now, from a perspective of the bigger clusters, there are 4 clusters in market segmentation. 1 is geographic, 2 is demographic, 3 is psychographic, and 4 is behavioral. And I'll just break this down a little bit so that at least if you're a business owner, it helps you when you're undertaking this process of market segmentation to understand the 4 clustering of segments. In terms of the geographic, we can all guess. This one is you're targeting customers based on a predefined geographic boundary. Probably I want to target Kakamega customers. I want to enter that region, or Kitale, or the western part of Kenya. You can categorize it depending on how you want to scope out. So you're like, my product will be coming in, and I think the market opportunity is actually geographic for me. So I'm going to be doing my products, probably even if I'm selling halal products, they will be down there in Kakamega or in Kitale or in that area. The differences in interests, values and preferences can vary dramatically. Let me tell you, you could be in the same country, but you could have a serious difference throughout cities. So you find the Mombasa consumer and their attitude or the way they view or even the way they buy or want the product or service is different from somebody in Kitale, from somebody in Nairobi, from somebody in Kisii. They would also be different based on regions and based on countries. Even for you, if you're buying through the supply chain, you will realize, again, depending whether you're buying them from China, whether you're buying things from Dubai, whether you're buying from Kampala, there would be a difference in that product or in the way the service is being delivered, and it's a geographical difference. The second cluster is demographics. The process of dividing a market through such demographic variables as I've told you, gender, age, education, family size, occupation, your income. By the way, your customer's income is a very serious Demographic, as I've said earlier, whether it's middle class, whether it's money at the bottom of the pyramid, whether it's an affluent, wealthy customer. This is one of the most widely used strategies, and that's why I went into the detail of vagal prex for you to break down your demographics. Psychographic is the cluster that focuses on some of what I call intrinsic traits that a target customer could have. So these traits could be their values. Intrinsic is something you cannot touch. It's not tangible. It's not easy to see. It's not easy to pick. This is somebody's values. As I told you, the personality we spoke about, the panelists wearing red today, interests, attitudes, conscious or subconscious motivators, the things that motivate us to go towards a certain salon, or to go towards a certain restaurant, or to go towards a certain supermarket, or to go to your school if you're a school owner. Our lifestyles and our opinions really, really matter for the psychographic consumer, and that cluster is very, very important. The next cluster is behavioral, breaking down the way customers go through their decision making and buying processes. And this one, I'll just use the good example of a family. If a mother is going for school shopping, if a child is going for the same school shopping, the behaviors and even where they will start, probably the child will start picking colors and things that brighten their day and looking at which are the nice pens and everything, while a mother will be going straight to look at uniform, look at the bigger spending areas, what is the budget and everything. What are the budget, what are the attitudes, and what are our behaviors when we are going to buy or we are thinking of buying your products? You need to think about these things, and let me tell you why. As an SME, sometimes it's important to understand these things. It is because when you look at the areas of if you look at a supermarket and you enter, supermarkets have psychographics and behavioral attributes in terms of the way they position goods inside the shop. Why do you think they put sweets right where the cashier is? They know that when you get there with your children and they are waiting in line and their eyes hit the sweets, mommy, daddy, I want this, I want that. So if you are a business owner, you should position, imagine, for instance, I'm a barber shop. If I'm shaving, I need to put the products like a shaving bump, an anti-bump cream, spirit or whatever, right in front of the customer. That positioning, because the behavior is, and the attitude is, once I finish shaving, I need something to soothe. So put a product that says soothing cream or something in front, and you will see how the customer will actually go through it. Now, we are looking at consumer behaviors, and we are also looking at what the marketing objectives would be. When I'm looking at a consumer's behavior, I am thinking about how they think, how they understand, and how they will remember to come back to me. Raising awareness and knowledge is very important, and the objective of this is to make the customer aware and to make information about the product easy to find. Also, when we look at the affective parts, which is how do I feel and how do I experience, I will tell you for sure, as a Kenyan and just as a person and a mother, I buy my mbuzi, my goat meat is halal. And there is something I feel and experience by buying it from my doula when I call Kiamaiko down here in Nairobi and I say I want my mbuzi and whatever, and the way he packages, the way he delivers, I have a preference of having my mbuzi halal. And so what is this affective part? The consumer behavior. The hierarchy model is very important in helping you understand why people prefer or they like something. So the market objective is to ensure the customer likes your products, and if not, you need to understand why, and then you need to fix it. Finally, looking at the action level, which is at the bottom, where somebody has a conviction to purchase or to prescribe or even to testify and refer that product to other people. So how do you create the desire to purchase? How do you make the customer purchase such a product? So whatever your industry, the chances are that your customers will differ in many different ways. We all differ in the benefits we are looking for. We all differ in the price we are willing to pay. We all differ in how we interact with your brand. We all differ with the quantities that we desire. So do not think everybody wants a wholesale. Do not think everybody wants a small sale. Do not think everybody wants a minute sale. So think about the quantities that people desire. And then finally, where and when they make a purchase is something also very, very critical. On a bigger scale, when we look at our businesses, we have to think about something called a pestle analysis. We have to analyze our segments from this perspective. First, we are looking at what are the political situations right now in terms of your product or your service. I know there are times we sell t-shirts, and I mean, I've been to a few countries in East Africa in the recent months, and there was once I was wearing a certain color t-shirt in a certain country, and somebody told me, you will be associated with a certain political organization when you wear that t-shirt in this country. Did you know? So imagine, as a small business, it's important that you understand the stability within a place and what probably you're selling as a product or a service, and whether it has a political connotation, but also understand the government policy around that. And then the other very important aspect is the social aspect, which is look at the population, and within that population, for instance, when we are looking at the population that now is asking for more and more halal products, including myself. As I've told you, I consume the meat and I really, really love, what my doula provides to me. So if probably you're sitting somewhere in Kisii or you're sitting somewhere in Voi and you're thinking, look, what is the social attitude? What are the lifestyles going into? Now people are at home more and more. So which products, what opportunities are there for people who are staying at home even more? There's a lot of emphasis now for home-based offices, home-based working. So how would your products actually sit there? Then obviously also always consider the technological, the legal, and the environmental aspects of your business. So for example, when you look at how we market our target clients, and today we are talking of a target market, and we are also talking about opportunities within the market of the halal space. What would be the products? How do we package them? How are they utilized? What are some of the features that would be important in those products? The pricings, the way you package. I know we've just finished Eid and it was a great celebration, and you can imagine the amount of clothing, the amount of probably services that were needed in salons and everything, the consumption of food and all that kind of thing, shipping and all the other elements. So in terms of pricing during a specific time of the year, again, it is really, really affected by these kinds of things. The place where you choose to have your business. Is it a retail or is it a wholesale? Are you going to sell on the internet? Are you going to sell over the phone and everything? I will ask Banu where actually she gets some of her products and services as a consumer. Would she look on the internet for this? Would she look, into a retail space? What are some of the places that you would expect? Promotion is also very key. How you advertise. The pictures and the images you use on those advertisements. The communications and the messaging. What is the content? And how do you persuade the customers to buy? I think this is something very, very key.